TikTok. Hello, Facebook.
YouTube now.
Hello, YouTube now. It is not a new app you have to download, so don't even worry about it. Why is this crooked?
Dude, you have one job.
You say that all the time about every job.
I know, it's one job.
I got 1,000 jobs.
You got one job, dude. One job.
1,000 jobs. You
1,000
forgot to
jobs.
say 1,000. It's your 1,000 job.
We're just logging in. We're about to tell everybody about the interest rates.
Yay!
We're about to tell everybody about whether you should buy a house or not, whether or not it's good to buy a house with the Mafia, aka California Dream for All program. Is that a good program? We're going to find out. This one? But first, we got to get everybody signed in. Everybody sign in. You're about to learn some good stuff. Learn some hacks. Learn some pros and cons. 15 years gone up to 5.75. Literally 50 basis point raise over the last week. 5.75 right now on a 15-year fixed conventional. All right, we'll do something interesting.
Oh man, what's the rates again?
Do something interesting.
Oh my goodness. All right, guys, you know the drill. Ask your questions about real estate. Ask your questions about loans. Ask your questions about the NFL and all the other conspiracy theories. And don't forget, screenshot those are our phone numbers and our links up top in the whatever platform you're in. All you do is click on stand.store, click apply now, start the process, get you a home loan, get you a pre-qualification, doesn't cost you anything, doesn't impact you negatively.
Yeah, we appreciate you guys. So right now, 15-year fix, 5.75 is what New American Funding is putting out on the website. 5.875 for the 30-year FHA fixed. I was thinking about selling my second two-bedroom, two-bath condo about 7 months ago. First condo I ever bought conventional. Why are you selling it that fast, Zach? Is there a good profit in that? I hope so. I hope you made a lot of money, Zach. That's how you get rich.
Is there a boom in your area? Is there like these condos doubling in price? What's the reason for selling, Zach? Why don't you rent it? Why don't you buy another one? I don't know. Maybe you don't want to do that.
And where are we at? Where's that at?
Should I sell it or buy another condo with 3.5? Yeah, where you at, Zach?
Yeah,
what city and state?
What city and state? If you're in California, the Dream for All program, we'll talk about that. But the Dream for All program has some really weird exclusions on it. Really weird. You can't have ever owned a home ever since you've been alive. Ever. So most home programs are
7 years. It's 7 years.
All right, 7 years. Thank you.
But if you haven't owned in 7 years, like
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. Las Vegas.
What,
Las
Lee?
Vegas.
Are you serious right now, Lee?
Nah, don't worry about it.
It's iPhone,
It's
man.
on- yeah, it's an
iPhones
iPhone.
are crap. Oh,
Yeah,
no, they're not going to
it's
work.
okay. Yeah.
No, they're not going to work.
You're kidding me.
Las Vegas? What? Nevada? Hey, I got a question for you. What was
Yeah.
traffic like during Super Bowl?
Is it crazy there? That arena's badass, man. That
So
arena.
badass.
I think is it bigger than the Texas arena? I think it is. It's not. The Texas arena is still bigger than Vegas?
I think Texas holds over 100 grand, and I don't think this one holds over 100 grand.
Oh,
It's
that
slightly
Texas-
smaller.
That Texas arena is amazing. I've been to that one. Oh
No,
my god!
I could be thinking about the one in LA.
I mean, yeah, I think the
Charger
one. I
Stadium.
think the
That's what I'm
Vegas
thinking about.
wanted to do bigger. I think so.
My mortgage is higher than the rent in my area as well. That's typical.
Yeah, Zach. When you first go in, first off, there's some programs out there, and there's these Section 8 guys. There's a ton of Section 8 guys, and I watched them for a while, and because I've had some people ask me, is this a good idea, the Section 8 thing? And so I've always, because I've been investing in real estate for so long, and I've seen so much. This is how it works. If it debt services, what debt service means that the mortgage amount is X, and you bring in more in rental, and the only place that debt service is usually very low-priced places. I think that's the politically we say, right?
Yeah,
So
affordable.
if you can buy a house for like 80 grand or 100 grand and you can charge $1,600 in rent, that debt services. But if you're living in Las Vegas or Los Angeles, the Inland Empire, we're at San Bernardino, Riverside. If you're living in Texas, Austin, Houston, any of the big places, Dallas, Miami, Chicago, any of these
Vancouver?
places, because there's such a demand for housing, usually they don't debt service. They don't debt service, but that doesn't always mean it's bad. Because if you hang on to it long enough, Sooner or later, the market will take over.
What's up, Chan?
And it will debt service. It will. I've seen it usually 3 to 8 years, somewhere in that range, and then it debt services. So if you're trying to invest and you're trying to actually create a profitable cash flow situation, usually it's not going to happen in your very in-demand areas. If you're going to do it, and I'm telling you, there's this whole group, Section 8 groups, that they say, hey, here's what you do. You just buy it and you put a renter in there and you just make profit. And that sounds wonderful. If you can make it happen, it is wonderful. But the only places you're going to be able to really make that kind of stuff happen is in the rural areas where houses are like 100, 120 grand. You can you can finance it and get a mortgage payment of like $900 or $1,200, and you can rent it out for $1,500 or $1,600. And if you can create a positive cash flow in that type of situation, then it's good. However, if you're trying in the populated areas, you're probably not going to get right into something that debt services. Most of the time, it's not going to happen because the market's just going to take care of that. Hey, mortgage guys, I love what you do. We love what you do too. Shanlane, love that. It's a cool name. Charlemagne.
The God?
Is DTI calculated different for investment properties? DTI, the front and back end ratio is different, but DTI is calculated the same. I'll give you an example. If I went FHA, I could go 46.99 on the back end of an FHA. 56.99 means I can take your PITI, principal, interest, taxes, and insurance, all your revolving debt, and as long as it's below 56.999, I have a possibility of getting you qualified for an FHA loan. However, if we're doing conventional, take FHA off the table. And take pushing the lines off the table, because I'm probably going to be at a hard 35, 43, 45 maybe?
Under 45.
Yeah, 35, 43, maybe 45 under certain circumstances, and I'm going to need a lot of reserves. So the debt to income ratio is calculated the same, but the ratios are way different.
Nice.
Good
This guy knows things.
Yep.
Tell him
Navy Mondana, what's up, Navy Mondana? Great to see you.
Tell him about how much you know. Go.
I know so much I don't even know what to say.
We got an extra 4 minutes. Just
Extra
fill
four.
the whole 4
Okay,
minutes.
here we go.
Fill
I
the
know
whole.
5 words. I use all of them.
Okay.
Good. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So what's up, Miriam? How you doing?
Miriam.
What's your minimum DSCR 1.2x? What's that mean?
What's your minimum DSCR? I don't know what you're talking about, Miriam.
Miriam, you're over my head on that one.
Yeah, you're talking lingo, DSCR lingo, and for us, DSCR is simple. If you're gonna need to have a certain FICO, I think it's 680, right? DSCR
Nah,
starts
it's lower. It's like 6. Oh wait, what'd you say?
680 for DSCR.
I heard 7. You're correct. Yeah.
680. So 680 DSCR, and then you're probably gonna need about 20%. There's some 15% out there, but you're probably not gonna get that. It's a pretty hard one to get, but 20% across the board DSCR.
Wow. Carrie Juduki, how do you put your home to rent out in Section 8?
Well, that's actually not that difficult. I think I've never done it. I've done the VASH program. The VASH is the veterans version of the Section 8, and they do have to come in. They inspect it to make sure that it's worthy to be rented to a veteran in our case. But Section 8 is the same thing. And then you go on the Section 8 approved list, and somebody that has a Section 8 voucher rents your property. It's a very unique situation, but the one thing that the Section 8 people tell you is that you're guaranteed money, and that's true. You're guaranteed that money, but you're not guaranteed a great renter, because the renter can actually cause a lot of problems. So vetting the renter is so important. And one of the things that I've learned after having enough rentals, I say, you know what? Having a property manager is important, because trying to find that really good renter is, I've seen so many horror stories of a renter just going south on the owner. It happens all the time.
All right.
So,
Faithfully Sound 23, looking to purchase a new home in Arizona and keep my current home as a rental. Any programs available? Yugos are available.
Yugo.
Yugo's a car, man.
Yugo used to be a car. I don't know if it still is.
No, it still is a car if you can find one.
No, okay. They don't make it anymore, right?
I
don't think the company went out of business. I think
that being said, so yeah, there's a whole bunch of things you can do if you're going to rent your house out. So here's the really cool thing that you can do. So if you have a current home and it still has a mortgage, okay, let's say it's $3,000 a month, $2,000 a month, doesn't matter what it is. Getting into your new home, as long as you secure that new renter, we can buy your new home as if you don't own a home. So it's like you don't own a home, all that money's free and clear. You can get the highest mortgage payment, the lowest down payment. So there's a plan for you. Absolutely, there's a plan. We can go FHA, we can go conventional, we can use a down payment assistance depending on the type. So a lot of different options. What you have to do is screenshot this right now. It's only going to be up for a few seconds. And there's also our phone numbers back here and a link above so you can start the process.
Yep.
Miriam Rosario, debt service covers ratio. Yeah, we got that. That's not what we were talking about. We're talking about the 1.20x. And no, we don't do commercial, but we do have commercial people that we have here internally that we can help.
Yeah, we broker it. We broker it, basically. You broker it.
I don't know about all that. Okay. Carrie Juduki. Is it a long process?
Is what a long process?
It.
All right. It is a very long process. Nah, not really. It's not a long process.
It could be short.
It could be short process. It could be a long process.
Who's your lenders?
You know who Cousin It is? Do you know who Cousin It is?
I know who Cousin It is.
Who is Cousin It?
Cousin It needs a haircut.
Yes, he does. Cousin It needs a haircut. If you're talking about trying to get qualified, is actually a fast process if we have all the right documentation. But here's what usually happens. Somebody says, hey, I sent you my paycheck stub. Can you qualify me? I'm like, no, I need your last 2 years' taxes. Well, you see, I didn't file 1 year. I can't do it. Okay, well, my bank statement, I haven't sent you my bank statement. I can't do it. But if you send me everything, like all your W-2s for the last 2 years, your 1040s, your most recent paycheck stub, and your bank statement, and I can usually do it in probably 1 to 3 hours. I can get you qualified in 1 to 3 hours. Bro, it's usually the hiccups. What?
Gelato needs to know who our lenders are.
Dude, who are your lenders?
Who are your lenders?
Gelato.
Who?
We are your lenders.
What?
Who's your daddy? Who's your daddy? He's your loan daddy. Who's your lenders? We are the lender. Well, actually, I think Gelato might be in the business. So, New American Funding is a direct lender, which means we are a lender. Wells Fargo is a lender, and we can broker to Wells Fargo. And a whole bunch of others. All the majors, we can broker to them. So we actually compete our direct line against Wells Fargo line. Most of the time, I'd say 80% of the time, New American Fundings is better, but occasionally Wells Fargo is better.
Yeah.
And I just say, hey, I can lock you with Wells. And they'll say, what's the downside? And I say the downside is you'll be serviced by Wells. They might sell it. They might send it to a servicer. If you lock with NAF, we will keep your loan the majority of the time. And we do service your loan. We keep it in-house. So that's one of the reasons we actually came to New American Funding and stay at New American Funding, because they service largely most of their own loans. So if you're in the business, who's the lender? We're lender.
Right. Sammy said me and my husband are trying to buy a house, but he's the only one that can get a loan.
Let's get him a loan, and then we can put you on the deed at closing. Oh, what? What? Can you do that? Wait a minute. What? So this happens often. Sometimes one spouse is the borrowing spouse only has the income and has the credit, so we can qualify them. And for some other reason, the non-borrowing spouse either has bad credit or isn't on the loan for whatever reason. So we proceed with the loan with the borrowing spouse, and then at the close of escrow, we just add the non-borrowing spouse to the deed. Now, the non-borrowing spouse is now on the deed, but not on the loan. Mm-hmm. So we can accomplish that. We actually do it very often.
All right. Carrie Judicki, do we pick out the rental, or does Section 8 pick out the renter?
Do we pick out the rental? Okay, so rental and renter are two different things. So rental is the property, renter is the person.
They own the house, so they meant renter.
Okay, so if you meant renter, you would pick the renter. You have to actually find them. They don't actually send them to you. To my knowledge, I'm not real well versed in that Section 8 thing, but to my knowledge, they have a voucher, and you have to put out that you're looking for somebody and you're good with the voucher. And I'm telling you, the most important thing is vetting your renter. Vetting your renter. I can't tell you that enough. The reason you pay property management company is because they know how to vet a renter, and they know the laws if the renter doesn't do something. So I've seen a lot of situations where you have a bad renter. If you have a good renter, it's gold. It's amazing. It's awesome. It's amazing. But a lot of people don't get good renters. A lot of people, and that happens.
Are you saying that this will not be easy, this will not be fun, and you will not enjoy this?
Dude, that was straight 300.
All right.
I was 300, man.
Alfonso Bueno in the house.
What's
How you
up,
doing,
Alfonso
man?
Bueno?
How you doing? Faster than he expected. We're glad we could be here for you, man.
Yeah, we're here for you. Alfonso Bueno. Happy to help you anytime we can.
Is getting your home on the Section 8 rental a long process?
Again, we're getting into an area that we don't really deal in. I just kind of learn about it, and I advise people on buying houses, mortgages, and stuff like that. So I got to be kind of familiar with it, but it's not my specialty. And I see these guys on TikTok. There's a lot of them that are saying, hey, Section 8, you can get rich. And I watched them, I vetted them, and they're not entirely lying.
What?
But they're not entirely telling you the whole story either.
What?
Yeah, there's some more to it. There's a lot more to it.
Man, these people always look for
I
information.
know. What?
Jesus. Current interest rates for conventional this man wants, or woman. I don't know. So right now, if you went to the New American Funding website, on a conventional website, on the conventional loan, you would see a 15-year 5.75. Wait, what? What? You'd see a 30-year fixed conventional 6.25. What? Don't believe me? Go to our profile, go to the links at the top, go to cool stuff. You'll see today's New American Funding sites. Or quotes. I love it. There you go, Officer Buckets.
Cool. Officer Buckets, we're here for you right now, man.
Anthony Marable, can you relax after a clear to close? That's a good question.
That's a very good question.
I like
we
it.
tell all
I
our
like
borrowers,
it.
we tell all our borrowers that every time. We're like, hey, can you relax after the clear to close? Please, can you relax? Okay, so
relax.
Anthony Marble, things can still go wrong. Actually, after funding, things can even go wrong after funding. We've actually
He holds a record.
clear to close and then fund the loan. There was a time we were funding a bunch of loans, a whole bunch of loans. And they said, hey, Lee, we just unfunded your loan. I said,
Yay!
what? You could do that? And I said,
Just kidding.
And I dug in and I'm like, what does that even mean? And that means that something didn't meet the final check and they pulled the money back. And that's unfunding. They can unfund the loan. So even after clear to close, you can unfund a loan. The only time it's actually set in stone and done is a recording. However, once you got CTC, as long as you don't move the apple cart, you should be fine. And as long as you don't go out that day and buy a car or quit your job or lose your job or, I don't know, buy furniture. That's a big one. Buy furniture or book a flight to Paris that goes on your credit card that shows up. Don't do any of that stuff until you have the keys in your hand and you are on title. Then do whatever you want.
Yeah.
But can it go south after clear to close? Yeah, it can go south. It usually doesn't. For us especially, because we talk with the borrower like, hey, you're clear to close. Don't go buy furniture. Don't go put a new credit card in. Don't save 15% at Kohl's. Don't do any of this stuff. Don't buy a car. Don't celebrate. Wait till you have the keys in your hand. Then do whatever you want. I don't really care. Do whatever you want. But you do need to record, and that's the actual legal spot.
What about a post-close condition? Like someone with a new job.
Post-close. Yeah, that's kind of...
So here's what that means.
Yeah.
So you close, but you still haven't met all conditions, and the underwriter approves that you can do it after the fact. So you actually fund, record, and then let's say you get paid 2 weeks from now, and we just need a paycheck stub, and then you turn in that stub. If you don't turn in that stub, all that stuff can unravel. Even then. So so no. The answer is no. Can you relax? Never.
Just keep your...
Never relax.
It's like, can you relax after you're in shape? No! You got to keep working out.
But I ate vegetables today.
You got to keep working out.
SD Wilson 4. I want to buy my dad's house, but unsure where to start. That
Okay,
sounds
so
like a
I'm gonna
rap
give you.
song.
So I'm gonna give you some advice.
Sounds like a rap song.
First thing you need to do. No.
Dough.
First thing you need to do. First thing you need to know. If you want to buy your dad's house, but you're not sure where to start, tell your dad. That's where you start.
Yeah.
Tell your dad.
Okay, that's a good place
Yeah.
to start.
Yeah, it's a good start. Tell your dad you want to buy his house.
You can't
Okay.
just, I bought it. Get out.
Yeah. So I'm gonna
My
say
turn.
you need to
Pick up your shoes.
You gotta know where to start.
Dad.
Dad.
Take out
don't
the
make
trash.
Me, don't make me throw you out.
Go to your room.
You're living under my roof now.
Go to your room,
You're,
Dad.
you're living under my roof. So, want to buy my dad's house, but not sure where to start. First, tell your dad.
Good place.
Yeah, that's a good place to
Great
start.
place to start.
Then after your dad says, "Hey, son, I'm willing to sell my house to you." Okay, now you started.
Good answer.
Now we go to the next one. You both agree. He's going to sell it to you. You're going to buy it. All right, that's step 2.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Now we figure out the financing, and that's a whole different song.
And that's where we come in.
Yeah, that's where we come in. We can help you.
Time for a commercial.
Yeah. If you need a badass loan, call a badass loan officer. You can reach your badass loan officers, Chris and Lee, at New American Funding by texting or calling the numbers on your screen. It is going to disappear in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bye.
Boom. Wow, said
At
Anthony.
one point, you can sneakily buy a car at the same time.
At what
Sambo. No, don't do it.
Actually, I'll
Just
I'm
don't.
gonna stick it
Just
out
don't.
there.
No.
Here's what I'm going to say.
Oh, dude.
Here's what I'm going to say.
Oh, you're about to cause problems.
I am.
You're gonna get us banned.
I am.
You're gonna get
Connor in
us
the
banned.
house.
What's up, Connor?
So if you're a straight baller, and
Baller.
you have all the money, and your DTI is like a 10, and you're way conservative on the mortgage,
Your DTI is a 10.
or 11.
Okay. Yeah. Wow.
Talk about the back end.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, put whoever you want in there. But if you're not a baller,
Yeah.
and you don't have all this room,
Yeah.
and you can't pay stuff if you need to,
Yeah.
don't.
Don't
There's
do
no
it.
sneakily.
No.
Just finish the transaction.
Don't do it. Yeah.
Then buy your new car.
Yeah.
Maribel Sacedo, what's a good credit score to have before even thinking about purchasing a house?
Well,
That's a good question.
Yeah, it is a good question. Before thinking about it,
Like talking to us type of thing.
yeah, I'd say if you're 580, you're in the hey, I should start thinking about it. But if you're 580, the first thing we're going to tell you is we can probably get you qualified, but it's not going to be the best loan. We want you to get that credit score up, so we're going to pull your credit and find out why you're at 580. Because if it's something that we can fix quickly, then we want to fix it. If you need to go to credit repair, we want to know fast so we can put you in credit repair. So I would say 580 is the right amount or the right credit score to start thinking about it. Just right thinking about it. Sammy says,
Sammy.
is 750 good credit?
Sammy.
Sammy, if you have a 750 credit score, that's great credit.
Hit a player
That's
up.
great credit.
Like Sammy, you're
Great.
approved.
Yeah, you're 750. Yeah,
Or,
done.
Sammy, you're approved.
You're clear to close. Over.
Take out my earbud.
Over. So 750 is a great credit score as long as it is a mortgage credit score. If you got it from freecreditreport.com or Credit Karma or your bank or something like that, it's not a mortgage. We use a different algorithm to find out if it's a good mortgage score. We use FICO, usually FICO 5, FICO 8, something like that. But it's all complicated. Don't worry about it. Just call a good loan officer, him or me, and we will help you get the house.
Connor, I heard rates jumped up today a little.
Yep, they have. They've been bouncing up a little bit. So, Connor, we're about to get into the weeds here. Weeds. Here's where we go. So, mortgage rates are based off the 10-year yield. 10-year yield. Okay? Usually, they range between 100 and 150 basis points above the 10-year yield. Usually. Unless there's uncertainty in the market. If there is uncertainty in the market, we've gone as high as 250 basis points. So there's this spread. Why? Because the banks have to make money. And they're going to make their money. They're not going to lend you money if they can't make money. So how do they make their money? They move the rates up to 8%. And then they can make some money. Now, when the Fed spoke a little while back, not recently, but a little while back, and said, we believe we've reached the peak of the economic cycle. All of a sudden, that 250 basis point spread, the certainty came back into the market, and it dropped down to about 150 basis points, down to 150, 125, somewhere in that range. And that's where you saw that giant drop. The 10-year yield didn't actually move very much. Very little, actually. However, the uncertainty was removed from the market. Then, about a week ago, CPI came in. Not a week ago, Monday. CPI came in. CPI was supposed to be at 2.9%. It came in at 3.2%. The Fed responded by saying, hey, listen, mortgage increases are still not off the table. The market freaked out. Dow Jones Industrial dropped 560 points. And the spread went once again wider. And we moved up an average of 50 basis points, some banks as high as 85 basis points. So that's the spike that you're seeing. It's uncertainty in the market. If CPI comes in again before the next Fed meeting, and it comes in as expected, then the uncertainty may be removed. We've been saying, if you've been watching us for a long time, that we don't actually expect the pivot. The pivot is when the rates start going down. We don't actually expect the pivot till third quarter. We've been saying that since second quarter of 23. We're now in first quarter of 24, coming to the middle of first quarter 24.
Damn, already?
Dude, it's fast.
Fine.
Fast,
Sammy's
fast,
a baller,
fast,
bro.
yeah.
Sammy came to the table with 250 G's.
250K a year. Yeah. Sammy, you can get basically anything you want.
And you need a tax break.
250K is going to buy you $1 million a year, dude.
If
$1 million house.
If anyone needs high interest, it's Sammy.
Yeah.
Sammy knows what I'm talking about. Connor, is FICO 8 score a good score to use?
Not a matter of good or bad. It's a matter of which one does your bank use. Because we don't really get to like say, hey, I want to use FICO 2 on this client. I want to use FICO 5. I want to use FICO 8.
That's true.
We get the bank gets authorized and we pull it, and whatever that is, that's what your loan gets funded on. Yeah. So if you're trying to guess it, not a good idea. Just have your loan officer, Chris or Lee, pull your credit, and then we'll tell you exactly what your credit score is, and we'll be able to move forward.
Yeah.
Cool.
Just so you know, Connor, FICO 8's for credit cards, FICO 5's for mortgage.
What?
Sincerely, Rhonda. I like that shirt. She just joined.
Rhonda is for you. What's up, Rhonda?
Me, Rhonda.
It says 100% hustle,
Rhonda.
0% luck. Guess what we're doing?
Rhonda.
We are hustling right now. We're trying to teach people how to get a house. And the reason we survived this downturn is because we hustle.
Dude,
we hustle.
Sammy needs to know how much they need to make to get a $1 million home.
$250,000.
Boom, you're there.
Yeah, $250,000 will get you there. Somewhere in that range, yeah.
Welcome to the party, Sammy.
It's party, man.
Happy expression.
Hey.
Is it okay to sell a car to save $600 a month for DTI improvement?
Oh, that's not only okay.
That's a big move.
That's a highly recommended move.
Big move.
Highly recommended move.
Love that move.
However, there's something you should know.
Very important.
Very important. If you only have one car and you sold it, the underwriter's going to catch you and say, how are you going to get to work?
Yeah, what's up with this? You got a bike?
How are you going to get to work?
You got a motorcycle?
Then you're going to have to show another licensed vehicle or your ability to drive somebody else's licensed vehicle in order to get to work, because the underwriters are pretty smart. They know you can sell it to your best friend.
Yep.
And you didn't really sell it, but you did. You did. You did. I tell you, you did.
I'll tell you right now that having a badass skateboard does not help this situation.
No, he's tried. Yeah,
but it's new.
And it's Tony Hawk on the bottom.
I remember that guy. Sammy, how much? Oh, we already hit that one. Yadira, what's up, Yadira? How you been?
What's up, Yadira?
Did pay 2 delete collections and got 2 secured credit cards, keeping them under 6%. Just reported this month.
Oh, here we go. Sounds like you're about to be a homeowner.
If I remember correctly,
you're about to be a homeowner.
Is that correct?
Oh, we did? Okay, cool.
I think.
I hope we're helping you, Yadira. I hope we're helping you. Yanira.
Yeah, get it right.
Yanira. We're trying to help you guys.
Sincerely, Rhonda. She said, sing it.
Sing it. We're here to sing
help
it, man.
Me, Rhonda. Sammy. Sounds good, said Sammy. All right, now help me out, Lee. I need your help on a few things.
All right, go.
Okay, so
go.
We got a lot of good people sitting in front of us. A lot of people that have a lot of questions.
Okay.
The biggest question is. Is it really a good time to buy?
Is it really a good time to buy?
And why?
So, is it a good time to eat?
If you're hungry.
That's right. If you're hungry. Well, how about is it a good time to eat tomorrow?
If I'm hungry.
Okay. Was it a good time to eat yesterday?
I was hungry.
So did you eat?
I did.
Okay, cool. So same kind of thing with buying. If you're ready to buy, if you're ready, if your income's right, if your assets are right, if everything's right, and you have the ability to do it, I think it's a good idea. Here's why. You could wait till the rates go down, because a lot of people are saying, hey, I'll wait till the rates go down. But there's a downside to that. The downside is very simply this. There is 18 months of pent-up demand. Every month, because of the high rates, people are saying, hey, I'm going to wait till the rates come down, and rates come down. So if there's a $500,000 house out there right now and you're qualified, you could walk into that $500,000 house and say, hey, you've been on the market for 45 days and you haven't gotten any offers. So what I'd like to do is give you an offer at $500,000, and I want a discount. You don't say discount. You say, I want you to cover all closing costs, which is $10,000. So you got a discount of $10,000. And now you got the $500,000 house and you are able to buy it. We're in a buyer's market right now. Although it doesn't look great, if you're qualified, it's a buyer's market. Now let's flip that. Wait till the rates go down. Third quarter, end of third quarter, 2024, rates start coming down. All of a sudden, all 18 months of people that have been waiting all say, I am now qualified. I'm getting in this thing. So now this $500,000 house goes on the market on a Friday. Holds an open house on that Saturday. Days on the market, 3. Monday morning, the agent's like, hey, I have 10 offers. Why? Because all these people have been waiting to buy. Now, if you're brand new at this, you don't even know this is going to happen. So you're like, hey, I'm going to lowball you. I'm going to come in at $480,000. Why? Because I've got the money. I'm the boss. So you don't know that. You think you're going to come in at $480,000. I see this happen all the time, by the way. So you come in at $480,000, and all of a sudden there's 10 offers on Monday. 3 of them are $480,000 because there's those guys who are like, hey, I'll lowball. I have the cash. I'm the one trying. Okay, cool. Then 3 of them come in at offer, $500,000. And then 3 of them come above, $510,000. Now, pretend you're the seller. And the listing agent is now presenting the offers. And you say, okay, here's the offers that I got. I got 3 at $480,000. I got 3 at $500,000. And I got 3 at $510,000. What would you like for me to do? Well, the 480, just tell them thank you. Have a good day. You don't want to counter them? No. Why would I counter them? I got 3 already above offer. Why would I counter? I got 3 at price. Okay, we'll keep those here. We'll keep those just in case I don't like the terms on these 3 with the 510. Let's look at those 3 with the 510. Oh, 510. Oh, close in 30 days. Oh, no appraisal contingency. Oh, waive all contingencies. Holy smokes. I'll take that 310. Hey, listing agent, can you tell everybody else thank you for playing? Have a great day. So now what happens here is the buyer will call me and say, hey, Lee, I've been trying, man. I've been offering every weekend. But nobody's taking my offer. And I say, yeah, because we are now in a seller's market. We have shifted the dynamic. So is it a good time to buy? If you're qualified and you find that property, it is a buyer's market, and now is a good time to buy. Yes, I know your interest rate is going to be higher. It is. It's going to be higher. But you know what you can change in the future? You can refinance and change that interest rate. You know what you can never change? The purchase price that you bought it at. Now, for those who are waiting, I get it. I understand. You can buy more. You are going to be in a competitive market, and I will hear when you go, Lee, everybody's offering $10,000 over ask, and I don't have that $10,000. I know. I know. I'm sad. I'm sad. I wish I could change the world. But I know both sides of it. I know when it's a buyer's market, and right now it's a buyer's market. I know when it's a seller's market, and when rates go down, it will be a seller's market. So, is it a good time to buy? If you can afford to buy, and you can actually pull it off, yes.
Wow. Bombero official.
I went on a freaking soapbox there.
God bless, I started getting better credit.
Good job, right, Bombero. Good for you. We're here for you.
Sammy, I'm getting 5% on my savings, and should I keep it saved or buy a house?
Well, Sammy, do you want to buy a house? If you want to buy a house, then you should probably buy a house. But if you don't want to buy a house and you're happy with the 5% of your savings, well, then you keep it in your savings.
Yeah, it sounds like you just want to make money.
Yeah.
If that's the case, then make money.
Yeah.
Yanira Rodriguez, but now my credit is dropping because of all those changes. Is it a temporary drop?
Usually, Yanira, here's what happens. So, as soon as you get a new credit card, your FICO score usually goes down a little bit. But as soon as they pay it off, you make payments on time, then all of a sudden it goes boom, 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 and it starts going up. So, when you start the credit repair process, usually your score goes down for a little bit. And then, if you hire a professional credit repair company, they challenge things and your credit score spikes, but it's a false positive. It's a false positive because they use the Fair Credit Reporting Act of 1987 in order to temporarily remove it while they challenge it. So it is temporarily removed. Now that doesn't mean permanently removed, it's temporarily removed. And then sometimes people come back to me and say, hey, my score just went up 80 points. And I say, cool, I'm about to start moving forward. They're like, okay, cool. Hey, did you challenge these items? Yes. Well, you have to unchallenge them. Well, then my credit score will drop again. Yes. You can't use a false positive to buy a house. all credit challenges must be removed while you're in the home buying process.
You do realize we're on social media, right?
Okay.
These people don't know what 1987 means.
Yeah, they do.
That didn't even exist.
I bet you
Dude,
even know what 1984 means.
That's like a 35-year-old.
Does anybody know what 1984 means?
Dude, 35, that's
1984.
1984.
1984.
Dude, your math is way
Dude,
off.
1984.
Jesus.
That-
Maribel,
that
I'm
was
ready
a
to
privilege.
buy, but I'm afraid of my credit will do when I pay off my car this month.
Your credit should probably go up.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, when you pay it up. But by the way, you don't have to wait till it gets paid off. Here's one thing that you should know.
Tell them the trick, Lee.
The trick. Here's the trick. It's a trick.
Trick or treat.
If you got 10 months or less
Trick or treat.
on an installment for an automobile, I can ignore it. It's already gone. 10 months or less. Not for a lease. Not for a lease. But an installment for an automobile. 10 months or less, all I have to do is say, hey, I got 9 months. Let's just pretend this doesn't exist. The underwriter will go, yeah, let's pretend. They're usually not that simple, but in that situation, it's guideline driven, so they will do it.
Boom. Trick or treat.
Cool, trick or treat.
User 8875. My 10K deposit is in a high yield savings account. Should I move it to my checking account?
You are asking for investment advice, and we are not giving investment advice. User 8875. So you should call your investment advisor or log on to their live on TikTok to see whether or not you should move it.
Dude, it's Asian Jim.
What? Asian Jim? Dude,
Not to
I
be
always,
confused with Indian Jim.
oh, dude, I always get a little weird when I talk, and I like Asian Jim.
What's
I'm
up,
like,
Jim?
we're about to get banned again just
What
because
up,
we
Jim?
said that.
Thank you for the compliment.
We get banned for stuff all the time. Luxury real estate says, hey, where's your luxury real estate at? What city and state? What purchase prices are you selling at?
Yeah, and tell me, are you guys seeing a lot of seller credit getting moved around out there, or is it the buyers holding strong?
You want to hear something
What's
crazy?
up, Darcy Lopez?
What's up, Darcy? Hey, you want to hear something crazy? If you're in LA and you buy $1 million house, $1 million house in LA, you get regular programs. You're not even considered rich. That's not out of the norm. $1 million house, you could be like lower middle class, and you'll get down payment assistance programs. Sure, regular conventional conforming. Yeah, we don't even break into high balance in LA at $1 million. It's crazy, straight crazy.
Out of the GA.
Well, the GA love that.
Man.
South Georgia.
Heck yeah.
Okay, cool.
Low inventory, too many renters.
Too many realtors.
Oh,
Too many
realtors.
realtors. A luxury. They're all going away, man. All the people nowadays are like, hey, I'm a realtor. I'm like, cool. Which Starbucks do you work at? I don't mean that for any of my loved realtors who are actually killing it, because there's a few still killing it.
Dang.
But most realtors, they get into the business because they think it's an easy business.
Isn't it?
No,
It's not
it's a
easy?
very tough business. It's a very tough business.
You know how people gauge this?
How?
My best friend, who's stupid, made
Yeah.
$200,000
Yeah.
last year, so I
Yeah.
could probably make $4 million.
Yep, that's it. This is a very tough business, and loan officer and realtor, respect to all those who are still making it happen, because it's difficult. Difficult.
Yeah. User 8875. Will it impact my loan amount moving the money around? This is the guy that said move it from his savings to his. Or his investment
No,
to
not
his
at all. Not at all.
That's
All
what
I
he
have
was
to do is
asking.
all I have to do is source it, man. If I source it and you went from checking to savings for whatever reason, I don't really care. It just make sure it's exact. Like, don't take it out in cash. Say, I took $112,000 out in cash, and I put back in 98, and then a few days later I put in 4, and then 3, and then I put in $50 at the ATM. It gets too muddy. Yeah, but there's some situations where somebody like won $1 million in Vegas, and then they went to their bank and they said, hey, here's $1 million, and I source it, and it works.
Yeah.
It just has to make sense.
Dang, Sasha. She has $300,000 liquid.
Dude.
Looking for a $500,000 house, no debt, cleared 205 last year. Thoughts?
Sasha,
thoughts?
it sounds like you're gonna live in the world of your dreams. You're gonna get anything you want.
Basically.
If you put $300 liquid on a $500,000 house, you have a $200,000 mortgage, and you made $205,000 last year. 1 year paid off, done deal, done.
Got some real ballers in here.
If you didn't eat and you didn't pay for gas and you pay for insurance, but anyway, you're probably gonna pay it off. I would recommend. And by the way, I did this with somebody recently. I quoted a loan like yesterday. Yeah, I think it was yesterday. And it was time to lock, and I said, okay, cool. Here's where we're at. Okay, this specific scenario, very strange scenario, but hey, I can get you at 6.25 for this cost. And they said, well, Lee, what do you think? And I said, if you're ready for this, I'll tell you what I think. They're like, Lee, we're ready for it. And I said, I don't think you should take the 6.25. They said, okay, why? And I said, I think you should take 7.625. And they said 7.625.
Justified.
That is so different. That is so crazy. Why? Why, Lee? Why? And I said, okay, here's why. One, both of you guys earn way more money than you need. So this is not a really tight situation for you. It's mathematics for you. Because you can afford the payment like that. Your DTI is like 14. And it's very, very low. And if you take the 6.25, you're going to pay $3,000 to get that 6.25 in your loan. You're going to pay 3 G's. And there's no question, because it's 6.25, when the rates go down, it's not a matter of I might refinance. It's mathematically certain you're going to refinance. You are going to refinance. So, if you take the 7.625, I can get you roughly $2,000 back to your credit. So instead of putting $3,000 out, you're going to get $2,000 back, which is a total of $5,000. And let's just say that your payment's going to be $50 more a month every month. Well, $5,000 at 50 buys you 100 months of payment. 100 months. So if you refinance within the next 100 months, this was a good move because you got $5,000 in your pocket right now, and you were whittling away at it till you refinanced. Once you refinance and you know it's going to be the rate you're going to lock in for 30, then spend the money and buy it down as deep as you possibly can. Dang. And these are very technical people, engineers. And I sat down and I said, listen, I'll show you the math. And they went through and they're like, you know what? I agree with your math. Lock me at 7.625. And I was like, wow, that was way easier than most. Most people are like, well, my mortgage payment. And I get it.
It could go either way with really smart people.
Yeah.
It could really go either way.
Yeah. And because they just don't like, some people don't like to hear that. Yeah, they don't like to hear the rates. But if you actually math it out, I know. If you math it out, and I locked it at 7.625, and we got exactly what I said for this client, and they're happy. Although, if I told somebody, they're like, hey, what's the rate today? And I say, hey, I locked one at 7.625. They're like, yeah, that sucks. You know what people want to hear? They want to hear that the 15-year FHA is at 5.75. They want to hear that the 15-year conventional is 5.75 because it is. You can. You have to buy it down, but you can. It's available to you. And I do want you to think about this when you're buying a house. It's not a matter of you might refinance. If rates go where the Fed says they're going to go, you will refinance.
Yep.
So you should plug that in and don't chase the best rate today unless it means that's how you get into a house. Because some people only qualify with 5.75. But if you make a lot of money, like we've got some ballers in here saying they're making $250,000 a year,
Boom.
$205,000 a year.
Boom.
We got one $365,000 a year. If you're making that kind of money, then it should be a mathematical situation, not a emotional situation.
Here's the other thing, guys. Here's the other thing.
Cool. Tell me.
Got a lot of ballers in here making 6 figures plus.
Yep.
I want to know who has 700 or better credit score. So if you have a 700 or better credit score, raise your hand here in the chat.
Raise your hand.
I want to see this.
You can't see it.
Just say me.
They can see us. When I raise my hand, they can see us.
Say me in the chat.
Not looking for investment advice. LOL. Okay, cool. We're here for you.
Guion
805 score.
There's one. 65 a year, no debt.
805.
First time buyer. What can we afford? How difficult?
You're probably starting at about 330, 340, 350.
There you go.
Depending on your tax base and a few things. Like right now in California, for some reason, insurance has gotten ridiculously expensive.
Ooh.
Just for the last few
sucks
months.
in California.
For the last few months. And that actually affects your buying power, not by a little bit, by a lot.
Yep. Sincerely, Rhonda. I want to be a loan officer in Tejon, Texas.
Yep.
After 20 years post-closing, I want to try origination side. What? You're going to flip sides?
Sincerely, Rhonda. It's a really, really great side of the business, but you must have a good mentor. You must have a good mentor.
I can't believe she changed
If
sides.
you don't have a good mentor, see, a lot of people join this business are like, I know how to calculate income. That's part of the business. You do need to. But the truth is, when you get high up enough, you pay people to calculate income. They're like, I know how to get documents. All right, I pay people to get my documents. I pay people to calculate my income. You know what the most important part is? To understand the game and be the gladiator in the arena, to understand what's going on and really understand it, because you're going to get, it's not an easy gig. It's a very difficult gig. Every single loan, somebody says, hey, I heard I can get cheaper. I hear it every single loan. I heard the rates are better.
My brother said.
Yeah, my brother said I can do this. I can do that. Rocket says they can do this. And you have to actually understand the market and know how they're getting there. The builder says they can do better.
My daddy said I'm the best kisser.
Yeah, my dad. What? Weird. All right, moving on. So, hey, sincerely, Rhonda, it's a great side of the business, but it's tough. It's not easy. The reason LOs, and everybody wants to be an LO, by the way. You find an LO who makes $1 million a year, and you're like,
do that.
and they're all like, hey, I want to do that. We can't count how many people have started with us LOAs and like, these guys are idiots. I could do better than them. I'm the one who calculates the income anyway. I'm the one who gathers all the docs anyway. I'm the one who does everything. And then they go off and get their loan officer's license, and then they're working at Starbucks inside of a year. Over and over and over and over again. And I give them good advice. I'm like, hey, listen, it's not about whether you can calculate income or whether you know the guidelines better. It's a matter of, can you plug all of that in and actually be the gladiator in the arena for your clients and know how to be strong with your client, fair with your client, and give your client the best deal available. If you can do that and you can communicate well, it's an amazing business. You make a lot of money too.
Right. Densdale 0037.
0037.
I've been selling my property for 1 year. My realtor never yet sent me an offer. What do you think? Oh, no!
Okay, Densdale
Not good.
0037. So, here's some things. When you're a brand new realtor, you think that, hey, I'm going to be a listing agent. That's what I want to be. How do I be a listing agent? I'm like, well, that's easy. You just have to have a book of clients over the last 20 years that call you because they trust you. Well, what if I don't have that? Well, then you probably should start off being a buyer's agent. That's how that happens. But here's what happens. They'll start. You got these group of agents who are going to go, hey, listen, I'll only charge you 1%. They're like, hey, that's a good deal, 1%. And then the seller always wants the most they possibly can get. But a good agent will go, hey, listen, I did a CMA, comparative market analysis, and your house is worth $500,000. They're like, oh, I want to list for $560,000. And a good agent will go, yeah, I'm probably not going to take that because I'm not going to sell it at $560,000. I'll take it if you're willing to drop at a certain point. And then the buyer says, or the seller says, oh, well, you know what? If you won't take it, somebody else will. And some brand new green agent will walk in and go, I'll take the listing at $560,000. I'll take it. I'll take it right now. I'll take it. Yes, and I'll do it for 1%. I'll do it for 1%. And then all of a sudden, you got your house listed at $560,000. And you're like, yeah, I'm the boss. I showed you. And then nobody offers. Nobody. Do you know why? Because it's not the market. Everybody knows real fast. You're way above market. Way above market. And then there's something that works against you every single day. Whenever they pull up the MLS, they see DOM, days on the market. And if there's been 27 days on the market, you're like, all right, this sounds a little fishy. If there's 45 days on the market, they're like, oh, this sounds a lot fishy. If there's 95 days on the market, you're like, there's something wrong with this property. If there's 120, or in your case, 240 days on the market, every realtor that logs in to look at it goes, there's something wrong with this property. There's something wrong. And they'll tell their client, hey, this one's been on the market for 240 days. We really need to think about whether or not we want to offer on this. All because you got an agent who didn't know what the hell they were doing. I don't know if that's your case, but that's a scenario that I see happen often.
So here's what we think.
Damn. Did I get on a soapbox again?
You need a new
Yeah,
agent.
did I get on a soapbox?
Over.
Yeah.
Over.
Yeah.
EMDV1. Do you have any advice for first-time homebuyers?
For a first-time home buyer, call Chris and Lee. Go to realestatewrap.com and you'll laugh for a second. Realestatewrap.com. Realestatewrap.com. We actually did a rap song a long time ago, and
I was a child.
It made us kind of famous for a little while, and maybe not in the good ways. We actually got called in by the boss. The boss is like, hey, you really want to do this? And we're like, is anything wrong? Did I say anything that's not correct? They're like, no, but you have pretty girls all around you.
And who wants that?
Who wants pretty girls all around you? I'm like, okay, whatever. Anyway, it made us kind of famous. We got in trouble, but we keep it up. And for a first-time home buyer, call Chris and Lee. Call us. We'll teach you how to do it. You should start learning about FHA. Start learning about USDA, VA, conventional, Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac. Start learning about first-time home buyer programs. First, learn about down payment assistance programs. And the one thing I'll tell you is they're not great, even though they sound great. There's a catch to every single one of them. None of them are free money. There's a catch to every single one of them. In a perfect world, you're buying a $300,000 house. You have $10,000 to put down and another $8,000 for closing costs. You go in, you put your money down, you own the house, and that's a perfect world. But we don't live in a perfect world. If you need down payment assistance, we will help you.
Sasha has a great answer.
Cool.
Great question.
Tell me.
It's for ballers, but
All right,
it's a great
cool.
question. The goal would be to pay off $200,000-ish in less than 5 years. In that case, would you care about the rate?
Sasha, give me a second. No. And here's why. Okay, so and I also wouldn't do a 15-year loan, or I wouldn't do a 10-year loan. I would do a 30-year. Because if you see the amortization tables, the bank makes most of their money in the first 15 years of the loan. On a 30-year loan, they make most of their money in the first 15 years. And because they make their money in the first 15, they give you a lower rate. So the trick is, if you're going to try and pay it off in 5 years, you get a 30-year amortized loan. Rate is almost irrelevant if you're trying to pay off in 5 years. It's almost irrelevant. Not entirely, but almost. And then you massively pay exclusively to principal. Because the amortization table is set up so that most of your principal is paid in the last 15 years of your loan. The majority of it. In your first payment, let's say you paid $3,000 to P&I, principal and interest. Maybe $800, probably $700. $700 made it to principal. The other $2,300 went to interest. That's so that the bank can have that big, beautiful building and the CEO can have a jet.
Yeah.
That's why that's there. If you're going to play the game to beat the bank, what you need to do is pay exclusively to principal and take the longer term loan. Why? Because if you take the shorter term loan, they change that amortization schedule and even more goes towards the bank in the beginning, even more. But if you take that 30-year, they're like, hey, this guy's going to pay it off in 30 years. Now, everybody says they're going to pay more. Most people don't. The bank knows it. It's like Vegas. If you go to Vegas, they know most people think they're going to win and walk away, but they're not. They're really not.
All right, Ryan still needs his $1 million, man.
Dude, Ryan, told you, we'll get you the $1 million right here, man. I got it in my left pocket. Let's do it.
Lechuga Express. Lechuga, that's lettuce, right?
Lechuga.
$350,000 loan at 3.5% down, 650 FICO at 30-year. How much is the payment?
Well, your payment, 350. It's gonna probably be anywhere from $2,600 to $3,400, depending on tax base, depending on what you locked at, because that's a big deal, and then your insurance. So, and then HOAs. By the way, HOAs kill deals. HOAs kill deals.
Dang.
Let me say that again. HOAs kill deals. You know what else kills deals? Property tax base. A lot of people don't understand how important property tax base is. And it can range from 1.25 all the way up to 3.7. I got one that I'm closing at 1.25 this month and one at 3.7. That's a big difference. That's like 1.25 is $300 a month. 3.7 is $1,000 a month extra on your monthly payment. So that's a big deal.
All right, I asked who has better than a 700. Here we go.
Okay, cool.
Land car, 805. Sasha,
Great job.
800 plus.
Dude,
LOL,
800.
me. Sammy, 750.
750.
Happy expression, me.
Dude, everybody here's a
Darcy
baller,
Lopez,
man.
Me. But she said, just kidding.
Just kidding, I really don't.
Happy
Yeah,
extension,
no, not really.
780.
780. Dude, we got some good stuff going on here, man.
Yeah, Lechuga Express, probably 2,600 depending on taxes. Pretty close, Ryan. Ryan in the house.
Yeah, depending on
I love
taxes. Ryan's in the house. Yeah.
Can you talk about duplex, please?
Duplex. Yeah, Sammy. I like saying Sammy. Sammy. So duplex falls under the same guidelines as one unit. So if you wanted to buy a duplex, you can rent one out. Hey, here's something cool about that. I can use the other unit that you're renting out as income to qualify you for the duplex. I can do this all the way up to 4 units. At 5 units, it turns into a different loan. But 1 to 4 units on VA, on FHA, on Fannie, and on Freddie. If you have a 2 unit and you rent one out, I can use that rental as income to help you qualify for the loan. In fact, one of the things that people do is called house hacking. And that's when you buy a 4 unit, you rent 3 of them, You put 3.5% down because you went FHA, or 0 because you went VA. You live in the primary unit, and you are now a homeowner and a landlord with 3 doors.
Boom.
Boom. Just
Game
like that.
on.
Game on.
Olson Alliger with a good question. Who keeps earnest money if the deal falls through? Good question.
That's a very good question. That's going to depend on
Yes.
how good your realtor is.
Absolutely.
If you have a no good realtor,
Absolutely.
you lost
your
it.
money.
Yeah, you lost it. You lost it. You lost it. I have a realtor. I'm like, hey, are you going to remove contingencies? And she's like, no. I said, well, why not? And he says, because I haven't had a notice to perform. and I'm like, well, you wait till a notice to perform? And she's like, Lee, I protect my client's money. If they're not worried about it, I'm not worried about it.
Mm-hmm.
So what does that mean? A notice to perform is, it says, hey, you must perform what we required you to perform in the contract. But if they're not asking me to do it, I'm not going to voluntarily risk my client's money. And I said, no kidding. And yeah, if I don't release escrows and this deal falls apart, all the money goes back to the borrower, to the buyer. All the money goes back to the buyer. But if I release contingencies, this is now the seller's money. So if you have a good realtor who knows how to play the game, they don't release contingencies until they're forced to. And then the contract says you must. They send a notice to perform, and then they perform and they release contingencies. But there's not just one contingency. There's usually 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 contingencies somewhere inside that contract. One of them is appraisal contingency, and you don't release that till the appraisal comes in. One of them is inspection contingency, termite contingency, roof. There's a lot of things that are contingencies, and if you have a good realtor, they protect you every step of the way. If you don't, they're just like, I don't know, they said I was supposed to, so I did it, and then you lose your money.
Damn. Glenn Carr, bows up. 805 score. Good job. $70,000 a year, no debt. Changed jobs 5 months ago. Same industry. What can I afford?
I'd say you start 330, 340, 350, somewhere in that range, yeah. And then we start moving up.
Seller if the buyer breaks the agreement. Yeah, that's true. Luxury.
Kind of. But I'm telling you, having a good agent, people they really shit on agents, and if you have a good one, they're really worth it. When I buy real estate, I use a real estate agent. Mm-hmm. I always use, and I have a real estate license, and I know the business, and I deal with these things, and I see contracts every day. I hire an agent. Mm-hmm. Do you know why? Because there's things that I don't know. I'm more afraid of things that I don't know than the things that I do know. And I know I could save 3% on a $500,000 house, which is $15,000.
You know what I did a few years back?
What'd you do?
Being in the industry for many years.
What'd you do?
I said, walk into a new build,
Uh-huh.
and I said, stop right there. I have an agent. Is that going to mess up anything here before I give you my name?
Uh-huh.
And they said, no, just write your agent's name right there. Uh-huh. And I did. And the agent got paid. Everything worked out fine. They didn't fight me on it. But by having the agent, she was able to still guide me through a couple things that I didn't know. And I'm in the business.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he's right. Good agents.
Yeah.
Worth
Good
every
agent.
penny.
They're worth every penny. Bad agent, horrible. How you choose your agent is so important. It's so important. Don't choose your agent because she's a pretty girl or a good-looking guy.
Man.
Don't choose your agent because he's your cousin or your sister's brother. Don't do that.
But what if she's really good looking?
If she's really good looking, you can tell her we're thinking about it. But only choose your agent if they're good at real estate. How do you know? There's ways to know. Ways to know. But don't just choose it. Yeah.
What's it called when we go really fast again?
Speed round. We're about to speed round. Speed round. I'm gonna try and speed round. Here we go.
Okay. Thumbs up. Question.
Cool.
Fire them.
Boom.
Are you guys licensed in Texas?
Yes, we are. We're all 50 states. Keep going.
Do you guys have the first-time homebuyer program?
Yes, we do. A whole bunch of them. Keep going.
Sasha, thank you for the info.
We're here for you.
Oh, this thing jumps when I start doing this. Okay, just the two of us. What can you buy if you have a 1099?
We have to calculate your income and find out exactly what we can use, but it's still the same process. Call us.
820. Good job, user.
Great job.
Sammy
820.
said, interesting.
Yeah, we're here for you.
Miriam said, do I need an agent if I'm buying a house through a builder?
You absolutely need an agent. That's the most important time. The builder will screw you over.
Jimmy.
Did I say that loud enough?
Yeah.
Screw you over. The builder will screw you. Tune into the next one for the details.
What if I change jobs while in escrow? 105K base to 85K base.
Oh,
Why are you doing
you're going to be in trouble, dude. You're going to be in trouble.
Unless he's moving to a state that's much cheaper.
Yeah, maybe, but you're going to be in trouble. If you needed that whole 105 in order to qualify, you don't qualify anymore.
You ready to
so
party
that's
this
a problem.
Weekend? Ready to party?
We're going to party like
Let's
a rock
then,
star.
man.
Hey, you know what? We've been Chris and Lee. We're here to help you. Have a good day.